Well, it's kind of a familiar opponent for the semifinals. I think you've played them. This will be the third time in 4 years that you're playing Tech in the semifinals, and those went 3 games each. Anything familiar about them? Just playing them this time of year.
Well, just that they're hard out. I think Joe and his staff does everything that they can to make sure that their guys get prepared over the season, and you can see that year in and year out. They went at the most important time of the year, and they did it again up at Northern in a very difficult situation because the weekend before they had played them and had to find a way to beat them again, and they did. And so a lot of respect. That group plays hard. They've got depth. They've got depth scoring. It's not like you take away one line. Their special teams are playing well. I think Jersik's playing as well as he has all year. They're playing with a lot of confidence, a little chip on their shoulder, and I just think they're playing very good hockey. And if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to be good.
I'm going to ask you about Jake a little bit, and his, he's had this, season with these big chunks where he's had to miss time, but he seems to have come back, both times pretty well and played well for you. I mean, is it just a matter of how he's prepared in that stretch where he's been out, or what's kind of made him effective when he's when he has been able to get back in the lineup?
Well, the one thing about Jake is he's an athlete that doesn't, he's kind of a lean kid. So when he is out, it doesn't take him a tremendous amount of time to get back in playing shape. That's one. Two, he's a pretty happy-go-lucky kid that really loves the game. He's got a passion for it. And so when it's taken away from you, not by choice, when it's health reasons, when you get back, you're excited about being back. And not just that, but if you look at how he's played, and I think the play of him, Charlie Gerard, and his buddy Lutzy, they've got a little bit of jam together right now, and I think they're having a lot of fun playing together. They're responsible to each other, and they've been a very bright light for us here over the short period of time that they've been together, and I think Jake's a big part of that. When you've got a guy down the middle with his length, poise, ability to play with and without the puck, he's defensively conscious about where he's at and what he does. All that mixed together makes a really good line with a guy that can play in all aspects. Jake's played power play, penalty kill, top 6 minutes. And with him coming off what he was coming off, it's taken a little while for him to get that, let's just say, consistency back in his game, but I think he's very confident in what he's doing right now.
Is there, just looking at the importance of him going forward here in the postseason, not just being a number 2 center, but just, being around it every day and, being in with the team, what does he kind of mean to this going forward?
Well, he's a personality. You like him. He's a guy that enjoys being at the rink. He's a guy you like seeing walking in the door. But also, and most importantly, he's somebody within our state, our borders, that understands what's going on at the state tournament, understands what it is to play for a university that's within the borders. And I think he takes a lot of pride in that. And like I said, when the game gets taken away from you prematurely, I see guys, when they come back from those things, have an appreciation for opportunity. With Jared Spooner being out, with his injury and not going to be back, I think there's been some focus put a little bit more on our centers that are playing today, and he's one of them. And when you put him in the spot that he is, that I said, power play, penalty kill, top 6, he becomes very important.
As far as going off of last week, going off of Saturday's game, what have you kind of focused on this week to try to improve on, based on that?
Well, Saturday, if you look at Saturday's game, I thought we played pretty well. I didn't think we had, I don't want to give credit to their goaltender, but we're going to have to be better offensively, because this is one of the best defensive teams in the country, and they do it. Everybody does it on their team, and they do it by numbers. They swarm you in the when you're in the offensive zone, their defensive zone. They like to come at you with numbers, and then they're pretty relentless in what they do. They're one of the best teams that I've seen on tape breaking pucks out of their own end. They can do it a lot of different ways. The longest pass they're going to make coming out of their end is going to be about 15 feet because they're a tremendous team in support. And so they come out with numbers and they try and beat you up the rink. They've got 3 defensemen and 15-plus points, and they've got depth scoring throughout their lineup up front, and they're getting good goaltending. So if you look at that, I think like I said, they're going to be a tough out. We're going to have to be good in all areas. Our goaltending's going to have to be good. Our special teams, I thought, were contributing factors to last weekend. We scored some power play goals. We didn't give up power play goals. Did a pretty good job in the special teams, and we're going to have to be that sharp or better this weekend.
Talking about last weekend, still on Friday, you had 8 different players scoring. What does that tell you about the depth of your bench, and how important is that in this postseason?
Well, a couple things. When you get at home, you do get an opportunity to at least start a matchup the way you'd like to off of a face-off. But anytime that we can use our depth where we are harder to match up against, quote, you look at Mark Michaelis' line on Friday, I think between the 3 guys that were there, I think they had 10 points. Saturday, not so much. We had the Yaremko line step up and contribute offensively in that game. And so if you become depth-orientated in how you can go out your lineup and they can produce offensively as well as be responsible defensively, it makes you a more difficult matchup. So for us, we're going to try and, again, play with 4 lines, 3 sets of defensemen, and ask those guys to go out and do their job, whether we have the puck or we don't.